in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm rolling in your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you need. Why you chase the crust and I take the lead? Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no insight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right, spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you've got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Oh, good evening, good evening, good evening, all you fine people. I hope you're doing well tonight. Man, oh man, do we have an interesting one for you tonight. And it's probably long overdue. It's one of those where you just hang on to it for a little bit. You search it out and you suss it out. You go, should I talk about this or should I not? Oh, welcome from BC. Good to see you, Star Z. Good to see you, Lynn Ross. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you, Scottish Cat. Good morning. Hello, y'all from Corpus Christi, Texas. Man, I have not been to Corpus Christi in a long time. Welcome, Robin. Welcome. Man, oh man, do we have a fire one for you tonight. And I've sort of been holding off because just sort of let them bury themselves is what I usually just do. I don't I don't like going on the attack, but it's one of those where I felt it was about time to show a little bit just because I know that there's so many people out there that are saying, well, there's got to be a lot of point to everything that McVilePP is saying, and look, he's even got this disgraced attorney joining him, and he's got another attorney that's supporting him, and oh my gosh, what is the whole purpose behind all of this? Are they truthful? Are they truthful? Well, we're going to dig into it a little bit tonight. Hey, Judy, how's it going to see you? And it doesn't have to do with the Hales case. That's what's probably gonna frustrate you a little bit, but it's going to show the kind of mind that you're dealing with, the kind of person that you're dealing with whenever you sit down and you say, "Oh, this guy is such a great, talented person." Oh, he's talented, all right. He's very talented at getting things wrong, like quite a bit wrong, not just a little bit. Not just a little bit. Now, I had never heard of this particular case, but I'm going to show it here with you anyway. And it's this Grozny Ruki, a federal agent posing as a plumber, has met me in a safe house. And you're saying, what is this all about? And this was a book that was written by All the Girls Gone that was available, and it still is available. Sandra Grizzy Ruki claims a federal agent with the United States Marshal Service who posed as a plumber has placed her in protective custody in a safe house, according to an interview broadcast yesterday live online. Now, it becomes very important of, well, who was this person that interviewed her? Her claims she's being protected, held by United States Marshals, and in the latest of a series of outlandish falsehood made by, we'll just call her Grazzini, who has documented an extensive record of lying both in and out of the courtroom. Well, multiple law enforcement agencies contacted today, including the United States Marshal Service, confirmed Grazzini. Well, since being convicted of the 2016 of 6 felonies for her role in the disappearance of her daughters, Grazzini's false statement and the accusations have become more outrageous and untruthful. Now, you're wondering, where does this come in? Well, it has to do with an online story published by a key supporter of Sandra Grazzini, which made false and misleading claims about jury tampering during Grazzini's criminal trial, was taken down by the media outlet after being contacted by Missing in Minnesota about the inaccurate facts contained in the story. The inaccurate story was published by none other than McVilePP for Community's digital news last Thursday, but the story was later edited with multiple corrections by Jacqueline Kubin, president of Community's digital news, and then republished. Before he got to go to bed, tell you something. An expert admitted to kissing salamanders. Well, good for him. Good for him. Now, you're saying why what? Wait, false claims? False claims? And who was covering this? Well, it becomes really, really interesting because in a plot line similar to the television show Desperate Housewives, Grazzini said she leaned towards dinner when her friend, who she thought was a plumber, actually an undercover U.S. Marshal tasked with locating Grazzini. I thought this guy was a plumber, and it turned out he was a federal marshal. After learning that Grazzini was the person he was tasked with locating, now Michael McVile PP, who co-authored a book with Grazzini's family court attorney, Michelle McDonald, about Grazzini, participated in their interview with Grazzini. Now, I'm not going to show that portion of the interview, but despite the repeated claims that she does not have a phone, McVile spoke with Grazzini on her phone during the interview. In the interview, McVile said this federal marshal risked his life and put Grazzini in a safe house. Hold on just a second. Now, in a safe house in a place that no one would know about, said McVile. She goes from having dinner on Friday night to finding out she's being chased by the federal marshals to being like swept into a safe house. Wild claims, wild accusations. Well, McVile is based in Chicago, Illinois. He disseminates the propaganda masquerading as news. Now, it also says here that McVile's stories published about Grazzini have been retracted or corrected after being published due to the factual inaccuracies contained in the stories. Now, does this sound familiar? Does this sound really familiar? The same kind of person that's already been debunked multiple times, been called out on these things? Now, she's currently being represented by 2 attorneys in separate legal proceedings. Neither Michelle McDonald, her family court attorney, nor Stephen Russett, her public defender in her criminal court, responded to requests for comment to confirm that the U.S. Marshal Service is protecting her. Now, she was scheduled to report to the Dakota jail in Hastings, Minnesota, And she also lost the appeal of her criminal conviction. She was scheduled to be sentenced again. According to public court documents, Grazzini provided document to Dakota County with a false address where she'd be living while on probation. Her current whereabouts are unknown, but based on comments she made in her interview yesterday, she's likely not residing in Minnesota. Yeah, you were number 57. Wonderful. Yes, so we have quite a few of these. It's not just one in this. This is multiple ones. Online story published by a key supporter of Grazzini Barucki, which made false and misleading claims about jury tampering during a criminal trial, was taken down by the media outlet after being contacted by Missing in Minnesota, and the inaccurate facts contained in the story. The inaccurate story was published by none other than McVilePP for Communications Digital News last Thursday, but the story was later edited with multiple corrections by Jacqueline Cuban, president of Community Digital News, and then republished. McVile's story contained false allegations that I was involved with jury tampering during Grazzini's criminal trial in 2016. Imagine that. He's telling lies. Got to go to bed. Go to bed. Multiple lies yet again. Now, if you're wondering where the multiple lies were coming from, hey Max, how's it going? These are the multiple lies right here. So this, without looking at the court documents, these are the ideas that he came up with. Our jury's administrator approached me at the noon hour and told me that jurors were seated having lunch in the downstairs areas, and members of the press came and sat and approached them, Mr. Grisby, and talked to them, the court, and asked if they'd be willing to speak at the end of the trial. The court, and I have not taken any action, but it concerns me, and I simply want to let you know that this occurred. That's as much as I know. I have not asked the jurors about this. Miss Grisby, well, how was somebody obviously reported it to somebody who told the court? A juror reported it to Dina Klein, who's our jury administrator. Okay, we don't know which juror. No, do we know which reporter? It was a woman, Laura Aldman, which is the person who is writing this story, Laura Aldman. Now, this is what supposedly is being spread about. And who's Laura Aldman? The Sun. She's with the Sun Times or whatever. And she just doesn't know any better. Let's put it that way, Mr. Grisby. Yeah, she is innocent. Yeah, she's not a malicious type of person. No, she's totally innocent. And she didn't ask about the case or anything, but she said, would you be willing to speak with me after the fact? Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, Knock It Offler. Good evening, Sure Scissor. May you have a splendid night. I shall have an absolutely splendid night. Oh my gosh. And this is just a tie over on some other stuff that I'm going to be covering later on this week. I was going to do it tonight, but I still had more setup to do for that. Thank you very much. Thanks for you. Very much so. And she didn't ask about the case or anything. She didn't ask about the case or anything. Would you be willing to speak with me after the fact? This is the first time I've ever really seen her in the criminal court. She usually covers county board and city council meetings and things of that nature. And it goes down here, Mr. Grigsby, I can tell the court I don't think there's any possible basis to bring any motion for any purpose based on the fact that if that happened. Now, they redacted quite a few out of this, but there's a reason why it was redacted. Because she's a reporter with the Sun this week, Lakeville approached a group of jurors during lunch break and then asked them to be willing to comment after the trial was over. The attorney said Aldman was not a malicious person. The incident involved Aldman was innocuous and the only incident during the criminal trial involving a member of the media attempting to speak with jurors. Now, it goes down here. Now, it goes down to this one here. The incident involving Aldman was mostly forgotten until last month when, during an episode of her podcast, Grazzini told a fictionalized version of the incident, which now included her. McVile then contacted me after that and questioned me about the false allegations. In my response to McVile's emails, I instructed him to review the court transcript, which detailed the true facts of the incident. Now, does this not sound familiar? Because these are the same things that McVile has done. He did the same thing with me. He did the same thing with Tug. He's done the same thing with Megan. He does the same thing with every single person. He will ask questions that are not that he's not going to he's looking for a specific response, and then he's going to cut and clip it and edit out only what he wants to show you. This is how he operates. This is how he does his news reporting. And he thinks that this is good. He thinks that this is an honest way of reporting on news. Well, no, McVile, that's not honesty at all. Well, he contacted after the podcast aired, questioned me about the false allegations, told him about said, view the transcript. And the weeks after McVile first contacted me about the false allegations, he either failed to review the publicly available court transcript, or he chose to ignore the facts because he published a false and misleading story. Yet again, it could be me. Give me a second. Let me fix something here. Mm. That will bring up my audio just a little bit. There, that should take care of it. That should fix the problem. Early, welcome, early ones. Well, in the weeks after he first contacted me about the false allegations, he either failed to review publicly available documents. According to Kubin, McVile followed up the conversation with Grazzini, who falsely claimed I was involved with jury tampering during her criminal trial. Regardless of what Grazzini told McVile, he was instructed to review the court transcript, which again detailed the true facts of the incident. Now, Grazzini told her allies have used fake news. Does that sound familiar? And propaganda to distort the truth involved in her criminal conviction. McVile also co-authored a book with Grazzini family court attorney Michelle McDonald about this case. Well, and if you're curious about that particular attorney, just think what's going to happen with another particular attorney in this. Right here, Michelle McDonald, law license was indefinitely suspended today by the Minnesota Supreme Court for violating rules governing licensed attorneys. Are we seeing a trend? Are we seeing a trend? Welcome, Tug and Megan Raid. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for coming on by. So we're just hitting the ground running tonight. Thank you so much, Bender. I appreciate you, Wendy. You're wonderful. That one there is for you. Thank you so much. That one there is for you. Love it. But this has become his modus operandi of the way that he operates. And you've got an attorney that's associated himself with him and wants to be part of what he's doing. Welcome, Happy Witch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, this one right here, law licenses investigate. Let's see, she is still required to retake a portion of the bar exam on professional responsibility, pay costs of $900, and an investigation will be conducted before McDonald's law license reinstated. Today's order suspending McDonald's license is a result of a complaint filed against McDonald in June of 2018 by Michael Brodkorb and Allison Mann in response to McDonald's filing a lawsuit against them. This missing in Minnesota. The lawsuit filed by McDonald was dismissed on 2019 by the judge in Ramsey County. The Office of Lawyers Professional Responsibility investigated McDonald for 21 months and requested her license be suspended. She was labeled a person of interest in the disappearing of missing children, announced in January she should be a candidate again for the Minnesota Supreme Court in 22. McDonald had been previously disciplined by Lawyers Board for multiple rule violations. Are we seeing a trend? These scumbags love to connect with one another, get hooked up, and get into the worst possible trouble that they possibly can. All you fellow mug raiders, welcome, 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 mug raiders. Yes, this is the guy that you're wanting to believe oh so much because he is digging in. He is a news reporter. He should be trusted. Yeah. The inaccurate story was published by McVilePP for Communities Digital News last Thursday, but the story was later edited with multiple corrections. Now, this is not the end of it. There's more. The inaccurate claim that David Rookie and his sister Tammy Love were in the room with Samantha when she testified has been continually used as a talking point by supporters of Grazzini since she was convicted in her role. McVilePP is based in Chicago, Illinois. He disseminates the Grazzini propaganda masqueraded as news. He's never attended any of the court proceedings involving Sandra Grazzini and the other adults charged and convicted for the role in the disappearance of Samantha and Gianni. Mr. McVilePP is frequently interviewed with Grazzini on his podcast about her criminal case and family court dramas. Oh, and there's more. It doesn't stop. There's more. I mean, you thought that this was just a little bit. Make it raid. Welcome Raiders. Welcome Raiders. You don't know the connection to what the hells, if any. This is the guy that is now getting paid. He's getting paid by supporters to cover this story. He raises $10,000. He's happy to cover the what the hell's case. He's happy to bring out the truth, as he likes to call it. That's where the connection lies. This is the guy that wants to get on here and he wants to piss up Megan and Tug's leg and tell them that it's raining on a regular basis. He wants to contact Randy Shockett and pretend that he's an attorney. He's the one that has become part of the new PR team for Bruce Manskin. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Stacy. How does he tie in? How does he tie in? You really wonder how he ties in. They're going after Willis right now. Oh, they're going after anybody they possibly can, Melanie. See, the problem is these are the kind of people that you're dealing with, is scum of the earth. They're lower than the low. We're not talking about actual reporters that go out and do investigative reporting. We're talking about reporters that go wherever they can to find the money, even if it's a lie, as long as they can grift off that money. Another cray cray. Did you say lies? This is just a piece of shit. Yes, an absolute piece of shit. Samantha and Gianni Ricci were subpoenaed by their mother's criminal attorney. Now, right here, the agenda, right here, the agenda to smear the testimony of Samantha Rookie. The frantic attempts to create alternative facts surrounding the testimony of Samantha Rookie made it difficult for Mr. McVilePP and others to keep their own facts straight. This is a guy that sleeps with his contact, right? I don't know. In McVilePP's book, he co-authored with Grazzini's family court attorney, Michelle McDonald. They wrote that David Rookie waited just outside the door. In another version, McVile places Rookie and his sisters both in the room during Samantha's testimony. They simply can't keep their story straight. The facts surrounding the testimony of Samantha Rookie have been twisted by Grazzini and her supporters over the last year by incorrectly claiming that David Rookie and his sisters were in the room when Samantha testified. It created a false narrative that she was forced to testify as her father and aunt were in the room while her mother was excluded. Also, Samantha did not testify via Skype as claimed by McVile and others, but rather through secure video conference system. Again, by claiming the testimony was conducted via Skype, an attempt is being made to diminish her testimony. The decision to allow Samantha to testify in a small conference room via video conferencing was agreed on by all parties, including Grazzini, a key fact ignored by McVile and others. Hey, everyone, Megan and Tug raid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, by claiming the testimony was conducted via Skype. Well, McVile didn't respond to multiple requests for comment. Carolyn Rice did not respond to a request on Twitter to comment about her inaccurate statement. After being notified about the factual inaccuracies contained in McVile's latest story, Jacqueline, president of Communities Digital News, responded that McVile's story had been corrected. This is the kind of game that he plays. Only when forced will he correct the story. He won't tell you the whole story. Why do you think whenever he decided to go pissing up my leg, wanting me to make a comment about bullshit that's not true, about him saying that the Jeremy Hales is making anti-Semitic and eugenistic comments of some sort? Those were inaccurate, entirely inaccurate. Absolutely inaccurate. Because my response to him was, are you going to even discuss what is going on with Paint Chip, the way that he's acting? And again, he asked the same damn question. And again, I brought up the fact that he is known for doing some pretty vile things to two separate women. Yeah. And he still never would go over what I had to say about it. McVile would never cover any of it. Instead, he just sends me emails every so often, which I generally don't read until I feel like it, because he's about innocuous as anything. He has nothing to offer. Jeremy was ready a news report from the newspaper. Those fat fingers. Megan and Tug, rate incoming. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Volpe's post from May 15, 2017 has been corrected. The claim that David Ruki was in the room during the testimony of his daughters has been removed. The updated post from Mr. McVile does not contain any notation that the post has been corrected or updated in similar inaccurate language about David and his sister being in the room when Samantha Ruki testified. Continues to appears in other posts from McVile. Legal drama surrounding Sandra Grazzini in family courts created a cult-like group of followers who drawn to Grazzini case because they were also involved their own disputes in family court. Her followers knew little about the true facts involving Grazzini's lawless behavior in court and her unwillingness to follow court orders. Does this ring a bell? The vast majority of Grazzini's online supporters have never attended a court hearing involving Grazzini. The reckless and flagrant disregard for the truth also extends to self-described investigative journalists and bloggers who continue to disseminate misinformation about the disappearance of Samantha and Gianni and the criminal trials of those charged. Should have said article instead of story. J. Macbeth Willis was hilarious, but the one Jeremy read about elemental PR was disgusting. She's disgusting. Well, yeah, true. Now, the reason this page has been published on Minnesota is to provide verifiable facts in the primary source documents to refute those allegations that were made. So whenever you start wondering why exactly are people discussing this? What importance does this have to show? It shows the kind of person that McVile is, the absolute trash person that he is. It doesn't stop. There's so much more about this guy. I could probably go on for a week just talking about these things. Just the amount of things that he said that were incorrect. Now, whenever we cover one of these stories, we try to disseminate some of the information. We look at the court filings, we read the court filings, which is very little of what is being done by McVile. He doesn't seem to have the ability to pay a whole lot of attention to what is going on. He's taking an attorney's story, and it appears that he's probably going to try to write another book off of this, or and he wants to get paid. Oh, he's got to get paid. I mean, that's the thing. I get paid, I'll cover this story. Do you think much has changed since 2017 whenever he did these kinds of things? Whenever he twisted stories? Do you think Paint Chip did any better? Whenever he lied in court, almost caused an international crisis, do you think that he's changed? Do you think that he's changed whenever he started screaming anti-Semitic epithets at a counselor? Do you think that anything about him has changed? Do you think that he just changed his stripes overnight and all of a sudden said, "Oh, I'm a good boy now"? The first thing he asked for was $10,000, of course, because he doesn't have any morals. He doesn't have any idea what's going on in the case except for what he's being fed to say. See, Jeremy doesn't tell me what I say. Tug doesn't tell me what to say. Megan Fox doesn't tell me what to say. Shockett doesn't tell me what to say. Bruce Foreskin doesn't tell me what to say. I speak for myself. I have thought for myself. It may not be much thought. It may be that I'm a little bit crazy and a little bit obnoxious. But these people that you're dealing with, that everyone's running over and saying, "Oh, they've got the latest scoop." They don't have anything. They're feeding you lies. They're feeding you misinformation. They're twisting the story to make it fit a particular kind of narrative. Which maybe gives a clue as why everyone is accused by LP of abuse. I mean, you're welcome to join all of those people and support whoever the hell you want to support. But don't tell me that what I'm seeing in a court case is incorrect. Whenever I'm sitting here watching a deposition and I see someone doing things that they're not supposed to be doing in a you were you have to treat it as a courtroom, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, and you want to point out somebody pointing out the fact that someone has a big nose and then calling it some sort of anti-Semitic slur or some sort of, I don't think Bruce even that Jeremy even knew who the hell Bruce was whenever he had to deal with it. Do you think he all he knew is the guy was a pain in his ass, causing more problems? I don't know. Late, but you're here. Sadly, you have to go to work tomorrow unless the weather cancels school. You're going to have to take a phenogrim class of that McVile PP. You might have to, Yankee Bell. I don't know. It's coming in, starting from the just starting from the start. That's a good place to start. That is a very good place to start. I will tell you right there. That is the that I'm disagreeing with you. I didn't think you were disagreeing with me. Heard Flea said David R doesn't tell her what to do. Yeah. No, trust me, that is inaccurate. That is and why do I say that? Because see, I did the work so you don't have to. I went back and I watched one of the horrible little podcasts and actually was reading their nice little email chat back and forth with Tug. And it was interesting to me whenever I read that seeing how Bruce was in on the whole conversation the whole time and feeding what he wanted McVile to say. Like, ask him this, tell him this, say this. See, that tells me that he's being fed what to say, what to do, how to act, how to react, how to confront, how to get the particular narrative that he wants out there. And that's also being spread along to the fleas. It's being spread right to them so they can continue on with their polyflop. It's a ridiculous mess. It is all about getting misinformation out there, spreading it as far and wide as possible, and you can sit there and tell them, you can show them proof that they're absolutely wrong, and they'll say, "That's not proof." It's like catching a kid in a cookie jar with their hands so deep in it that they're touching bottom. And they say, "That's not what you see." Hello, everyone. Love from the Chesterfield, England. Nice. Nice. Home of the Chesterfield cigarette. Why can't I become a member? No join button available. You might already be a member. That's a possibility. You might already be a member. But if you're a branded account, sometimes you can't become members, or you might have to restart the browser. Or if you're doing it from an iPhone, sometimes that'll cause problems. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why you couldn't become a member. Also, Santh, it's just, I mean, it's some of the most insane amount of stuff that I've gone through. It suggests that Bubbles is the leader of the ecosystem. Um, no, I don't think they actually have any sort of leadership in there. You have particular talents amongst each one of those. One of the talents that all of them have is to lie constantly. It is a constant lie. It is constantly making things up to fit the narrative. It's like recently, and I've seen the videos of it, and I'm just gonna turn off my camera here for a second so I could lean back. I have watched some of the little clips that people have been sending, some of the things that were sent to me of about the supposed hacker or something like that that's supposed to be sending these things out. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe anything that they say for 1 second. There is there they have been untruthful from the get-go. Everything from Flea One saying that she just can't wait to get subpoenaed. Well, let's see. How did it start out? Oh, they've got the wrong person. I live nowhere near the villages. They don't even have my address. And then whenever she gets the subpoena, or whenever they do get her name correct, she says, "Oh no, that's different weeks. That's not me. That's not me at all. They're going after somebody else." Then she receives the subpoena. And then it's, oh, I can't wait to get in there to tell them. I would be all up and tell the truth because I'm a truth teller. And then whenever she is supposed to be there, she decides not to show up. Why do you think that is? All of a sudden, it's, he didn't give me the appropriate amount of time to respond. It's all what they're accusing everybody else of doing. They are causing this court case to go on as long as possible. They've got to get as many people as they can paying attention to it, looking at it, disseminating it. They want to get those large YouTubers in there that are going to side with them. Except that's why they have to keep telling the misinformation that they're doing, is because they have to have these people come in there and believe their side of the story. But if you get anybody, if you get anybody with half a brain that starts looking at it, doesn't matter if they have 100,000 subs or 100 million subs. Once they start looking at it, if they've got any brain whatsoever, and they start looking at the actual court case, they start looking at the documents, they start looking at what's been presented to the court, they will see that they are taking things out of context. They're not telling the whole truth. Mug Raid. Welcome, Mug Raiders. Welcome, 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 Mug Raiders. Welcome, Megan, Tug. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is someone just saw my new video come popping up. They said, awesome, I love pickles. Yes, Pickles Paradise is the newest one. Pickles Paradise is the newest one out there. And I'm watching this come from a place where I was watching a deposition. I was commenting on the way that a judge was involved in this. And that wasn't even the start of the defamation. Now they're going after the Ohio court order. Now they're going to be going after every single thing that they can go after. Hey, welcome. Love the channel. I love my channel also. Fox Raid, welcome, Fox Raid. Welcome, 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 everyone. Yes, yes, you graduated from Pickle University with honors. Awesome, Mary Maldonado. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Heather May, good to see you. Good to see you. Fawn Mayo, Bello, Tug, and Fox Raid. Hello, Nanny Goat. Good to see you. Glad you guys can make it in here. Now, here is some more of what I'm going to show you right here. Missing in Minnesota is committed to a reporting philosophy based on facts, not fabrication. The legal drama surrounding Sandra in family court has created a cult-like group of followers who are drawn to that case because so many were also involved with their own disputes. Her followers knew little about the true facts involving Grazzini's lawless behavior in court and her unwillingness to follow court orders. Again, does this not sound familiar? A vast majority of the online supporters have never attended a court hearing involving this. The reckless and flagrant disregard for the truth also extends to self-described investigative journalists, bloggers who continue to disseminate misinformation about the disappearance of these two and the criminal trials of those that were charged. That right there should tell you so much about exactly the kind of person that McVile is. It has been nonstop stories that have been proven false. He constantly is being proven false on his stories, on the things that he's covering about this, the things that he's saying. And there's a whole bunch of people that are more than happy to just lap up every lie that he tells them. Don't be one of those. Do the research on your own. Do a little bit of research into the way that this person is covering these things. Mm. I've seen quite a bit of these issues that have been happening over and over and over. And I'll go back to this time and time again because this behavior has become indicative of what the Hales are having to deal with on a regular basis. Now, I don't have to deal with it. I just report on the kind of things that I'm seeing. I comment on the things that I'm seeing. My investment into the Hales, that there is none. I don't receive funding from them. Only funding I receive is from you wonderful people that come in, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, like what you see, spread the word around, let other people know. You enjoy the stories that I tell, the tales that I spin, the yarns that I throw down. You enjoy those parts of these, and I really hate having to pull these kinds of things up. I mean, because I just find it aggravating that there's not enough people out there seeing these things that are going on and then want to come in and say, oh, no, 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 no. You've got this all wrong. Show me where I'm wrong that he hasn't done things that are inappropriate. And this is only one of them. And if you think Paint Chip is any better, I guarantee you he's not. I guarantee you he is just as bad. There's a reason there's a reason why these two have gotten together. They work very well together. There's another reason why they've got this rabbi involved. The rabbi has also been involved in these kinds of family court cases. Don't believe me? Go look in on the rabbi. See what people are saying about that particular rabbi. See what his family is supposedly saying about that particular rabbi. Go dig into it yourself. You'll start seeing things that, from that different perspective, you're taking the word of my word. Just go do the research on your own. Just do a Google search on them. The amount of stuff that you can find on these people. Oh, yeah, the rabbi that considers Jeremy Hale's comments to be anti-Semitic. Yeah, that rabbi. Hmm. Yeah, he's dealing with family court issues. Yeah. Wait until I start showing you the information on him. That's whenever it gets really interesting. Have not been a paper member, can't afford any of them. Oh, Heather May, you'd be surprised. I think I have the lowest member cost of any YouTuber out there. To become a member of this channel, it's like $1.99. I joke not. You can always subscribe for free. Subscriptions don't cost a single thing. Subscriptions are always welcome. $1.99, I have got one of the easiest channels to sub to. I think next year I'll probably raise the cost of being a member, but this year I'm keeping it at that low price of $1.99 because it wouldn't let me go any lower than that. That's the only reason why. Oh, thank you, Mama Lori. I appreciate you. I'll get you a sticker here in a second. Let me bring up my video. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And man, I think it's wonderful the support that you find folks have sent over here. Kind of love that only a daddy gets from wonderful people. Thank you so much. That one's for you right there. Thank you. Oh, definitely worth $1.99. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Cynthia. Like I said, my channel is really easy to become a member of. I don't need to make $1 million or raise $10,000 to cover his story. If I find it interesting, I'm gonna cover it. Oh yes. Oh yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Not sure how it works. Using my phone has never had a join button on any channel. I've had to join from a laptop. Oh, that could be it too. That could be it too. You have Apple can't join unless you get gifted first. Oh, that's wild. That's wild, Diane. I think I've used up all my free gifts. Can double check. I haven't looked up that in a little while. And I did drop out a new song today. It's So that one, if you're a member, you'll get it. If you're a member, it'll come popping in for you. If you're not a member, you have to wait until Thursday or Friday, I think is whenever it drops live. I set those up way ahead of time. Let me see if I've got any memberships to gift out. Sometimes I tend to forget about them. So let me see if I've got one here. Just a second. Um, all right, we'll need that. And let's see. Show your support, membership gifting. Nope, I've gifted all of them this month. Doggone it. You'll have to now if you're around this time next month, if you're around this time next month, you will see that there will be another 10 gifted memberships that I usually give out at the beginning of the month. I've been trying to get better. I've been trying to get better about doing those. I haven't been the greatest at it, but I've been trying to get a little bit better of getting those memberships gifted out at the beginning of the month. You're a member under your other name? That's perfect, cloud facing. I love it. I love it. If you have an iPhone, you need to go on your laptop. Talking about doing research. I love watching you, Tug, Megan, some of the others because I am invested in all this. I try to stay on top of it. Hit the internet, go down rabbit holes, etc. And I mean, you never know where it's going to take you. This nicely channel
East
can give
Texas
10
Cowboy
memberships
has
a month.
become a member.
Almost Cynthia, almost every single person can become a member. Almost. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Just became a member. I don't know what the red means, but thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you there, East Texas Cowboy. Sponsored. That's why you're sponsored, East Texas Cowboy. I love it. Thank you so much. And with those membership perks, I mean, the lowest membership gives you just about everything. The higher memberships are for people that want to gift a little bit higher. Thank you so much. That is for you right there. Um, yeah, it's interesting to me to to the YouTube portion of it where I've not been involved in anything like this before. Um, I just I don't really follow. If you look back at a lot of the streams that I've done, I really don't follow a lot of these cases because there's not a whole lot to see there. I try to avoid getting caught up in all of the weird BS that's been going on, and there's a lot of it. Trust me on that. There is a lot of it. I try to avoid it, but sometimes it drags you in kicking and
Roy
screaming.
Lansinger has become a member.
Awesome. Yeah, see it came popping up now. Oh, okay. We got Roy Lawson. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a new one right there. Roy, thank you so much for becoming a member also. It is awesome. It shows up over here on my side as a red highlight, which is really cool because usually I don't see the red highlights. But that's really nice of you, Roy. I appreciate you. Like I said, my memberships are so easy to become a member of. You get all of the stuff that's introduced, all the new stuff that's introduced. I appreciate you. That's it for you right there. And of course, I do have another case that I'm going to be covering in the future coming up in uh, well, it was I was going to do it tonight, but I really felt that there was a need to get this part of it out just because there's been so much especially over the whole weekend that was coming out of the silliness. And there was a lot of silliness that was coming out. Everything from a guy pretending that he's an attorney to reach out to shock it, to you don't gift, but this will I will this. Well, thank you, Max. Don't gift, but will this time. Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Diane Chase was gifted a membership by Max Labs. Well, thank you, Max. I appreciate you right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me hit you up with a few stars. I appreciate that so much. Let me hit you up with a few stars because that's amazing. Welcome new members. I mean, I'm always humbled by the kindness of all you fine people. I mean, it is it is it is it is one thing that I've been trying to get a little bit better with. Oh my gosh, $2 for Emma. Thank you so much. Pick a name in chat and dedicate my star to them. Pick a name in chat. Emma Washington. I will dedicate dedicate this star right here is to Emma Washington, one of the finest people today. Thank you very much, Emma. I appreciate you. That is for you there, sweetheart. You are welcome and appreciated. All of you are. Um, hey, how's it going, Manskin? Shizzy, I know this guy throwing a lot of shite out there to see what sticks are making enough mad to get a mistrial or people to walk away. Well, it's the threats that they're working on. Yeah, that has been their latest thing is going after YouTubers, going after streamers to try to get them to back away, to back off, to stop covering this in a way that they don't like. That has been one of the
Hippie Witch
biggest
61 has
things.
become a member.
Hey, Hippie Witch, just became a member. Awesome. Thank you, Hippie Witch. Such a sweetheart. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love having a Hippie Witch. I mean, Hippie Witch just makes me feel like takes me back to the 80s with all the wonderful little hippies I used to hang out with. Yeah, right there. Now, see, I was never a Grateful Dead fan, but I did hang out with a bunch of people that loved Grateful Dead. Like they worship Jerry Garcia. And we're like, oh my gosh, Jerry Garcia. I was like, well, okay, that's cool. I mean, not my thing, but didn't make them bad people. Thank you, Hippie Witch. I appreciate you. The 19th is coming. 2 more days. I know. Now tomorrow, oh my gosh, it's gonna be if I'm sort of hoping that there's no filing tomorrow because I should have a lot of the research done that I wanted to do for the next thing I'm going to be covering. And it's going to be you get to see a live deposition. Get to see, well, not it won't be a live deposition. You get to see a pre-recorded deposition. And it's somebody that you all, if you've been around the YouTubes or listening to political stuff, you'll you'll know this person and you'll understand who this person is. And it's going to blow your mind away because this person was defamed by somebody that was a much larger YouTube star, a much larger YouTube star. Feeling the judge will say something on the 20th. Digistorm? I have no idea what the judge is going to do. The judge could have filed something tonight. Had his staff attorney up all night. I need you to work this out, send it to me so I can have it filed. I don't know the judge's mind. I don't pretend to. I thought that the judge would have had certain aspects and different outlooks on things, and I've been completely wrong every single time. Now, I've had hopes that the judge will find certain things and look at certain things and see it the way that I do, but that's not how judges operate. Judges don't see things the way that you see them. They're applying the law to each one of their cases, each one of their orders, each one of the motions that they read. They apply the law to it, and that's something that a lot of people tend to forget. Don't want to break your heart, but it's it's BBB you're talking about. I Oh, that just went by so fast. Don't want to break your heart, but it's BBB you're talking about. I give 60 to 1 there will be a filing. Yes, that is true. And that is his common modus operandi is he has this problem that he is trying to drag this on in the court system. I've gone back and seen some of the filings he's done in other cases and his projection of just on and on and on where they overload it's the same thing that a solve sit will do. You just check paste if there's nothing new. Well, of course, Max. Thank you. I appreciate you, Max. I didn't think there would be anything new, and there might be something tomorrow. There might be something the next day. Um, you're dealing with people that this is how they get off. This is their enjoyment. You have to understand that McVile is notorious for doing these kinds of things. He likes to get paid. He likes to get added into court cases. Same way with Paint Chip. They like to get added into these court cases because whenever they get added into these court cases, then they can turn around and sue. That's their point. Get added to the court case, sue. Wait till you see what I got on Paint Chip. Oh, yeah. The stuff I got on Paint Chip pales in comparison. We're talking about this guy. Today is a federal holiday. That doesn't stop you from filing things. That doesn't stop you from filing things. You can still get them filed. Ecosystem Pit complains all about all of Squid's videos. I I don't know. See, I don't I don't I don't I don't worry about what they're complaining about. I don't worry about what they're saying. I just want to know where the next little attack is coming from on people like Tug, people like Megan. See, whenever I see my friends being attacked, fellow streamers being attacked, I want to know where those attacks are coming from. I want to know what kind of people that I'm dealing with. And McVile has a long history of doing these same kind of tactics where he comes in, spreads misinformation, disinformation that never gets corrected, never gets drawn out, never gets shown out. And he hasn't started yet. That's the thing. He hasn't started yet on his misinformation. Oh, he's given little nit bits and pieces here of things that are not true. Part of it was the anti Semitic slang that he's claiming that Jeremy used. Those are the kinds of things that they do. Kill Flesher, same here, but next week we're supposed to get it. There's in the 50s. Squid was on this morning and got several strikes on her videos, she said. Well, I get strikes on my videos too. I mean, now if I'm showing certain things on my videos, I get strikes too. Like if I pull up a meme and things like that, I'll get strikes on my videos. But those I don't worry about. Tammy, she's freaking out over things she probably shouldn't freak out over. Hey, how's it going, Vice Vice baby? When can a judge say enough to BBB? Whenever a judge has enough. They can say at any point in time. They can say the same thing to shock it. You have to remember that the judge wasn't happy with either shock it or Bubbles. All right. He wasn't happy with either one of them. And that was because he was misled by misinformation that Bruce was throwing out there. All you have to do is go back and look at the pleadings that Bruce has been filing. And the way that he's got those worded is the same way that he was trying to have those questions worded to me. Because instead of asking those questions himself, he couldn't do it because he knows that he gets hammered every single time that he emails me. He gets slapped down like the gnat that he is. Because one, it's inappropriate and he knows it's inappropriate, so he's going to get smacked down. Number two, he is usually has nothing useful to say. I think the judge might be on the 20th. Well, the judge might have something to say if he hasn't received if Shockett hasn't received those documents, the documentation that he asked for, that he was very specific in what he was asking for. I don't know. I don't like have a main line to Shockett to see what he's received and what he hasn't received. I can only suppose, just like the rest of you. And even if I did have a main line, why would I ask an attorney? Because that would be attorney-client privilege, wouldn't it? Curious if YouTube will do anything when they connect the dots. Um, Usually, yeah. YouTube doesn't like shenanigans. if they do connect the dots, then yeah, they'll shut down whoever's doing it. Um, I I just don't get involved. Like I said, I don't get involved in those kinds of drama streams. I don't want to suppose of what YouTube will do or anything. It seems that Squid had a lot of older videos. Copyright struck, effectively demonetizing her channel, even those. No, no, that's not uncommon, Kathy. That's not uncommon, Kathy. And anybody tells you anything otherwise than that, then they just haven't been around YouTube long enough. I've been around a long time on YouTube. I've had multiple videos copyright struck, multiple ones. Guarantee you, I've had it. I mean, hell, the last video that I put out for Valentine's Day, that one got copyright struck because I was using copyrighted material. I didn't monetize it. I didn't even have it set up to monetize. It was an accident on my part. Just bought a new house. I can see why it stresses her out. Well, yeah, uh, I, she'll be fine. I mean, here's the thing. YouTube isn't going to afford you a new house. YouTube doesn't do that. The amount of money that you make on YouTube is slim to none. If you're looking at YouTube to become a secondary source of income, you have to do a lot more than just do a stream. There's a lot more involved in doing YouTube if you want to hit that level. So just saying, if you know anything about how much money is made on YouTube for someone that has, oh, okay, let's put it this way. What would I have made off of the stream that got 5,000 views? Just simple, my last one I think had 5,000 views. Do you know how much I got off of that? No, not we're not talking about super chats. We're just talking about how much YouTube paid me. YouTube paid me 17 cents. YouTube paid me 17 cents. Now the rewatch that got me more views, but the initial video, the stream that I did got me 15 cents. Now coming back, I think it ends up making me like 5, 10, $15, something like that. So imagine somebody that that's what their regular amount of streams are is 5,000. Yeah, $30. Not even close, Terry. Not even close. And then of course you do get super chats, which help alleviate some of that. If I was doing this to make money, then I'm doing it way wrong because it does not pay a whole lot. Now, whenever you start hitting over 100,000 subs, that changes quite drastically. Those 100,000 subs equate to quite a bit more. So you'll end up with, if you've got 100,000 subs, that could easily equate to, instead of, you know, $15, $20, that could easily equate to $500 or $600. And then you start adding more and more subs to it, and those can equate to quite a higher number of income. I mean, it is, if you ever wonder how much money that you don't get, all you have to do is just drop one of those videos that goes viral, million views off of a short or something like that. Never had anything like that, but imagine you get 1,000,000 views off of a short. That right there is awesome amount of a quick amount of money. But then as soon as you do that, you get copyright stricken on it, that money goes away. It goes to the copyright holder. That's how copyrights work. They go to the copyright holder. So if people are telling you they're getting a copyright strike, then that money just means that it's going to the copyright holder, because you can't get a copyright strike on you unless it goes to the copyright holder. McVilePP is a, well, you could try. Paint Chip used to be an attorney. He's a disbarred attorney that's not allowed to practice anymore. He lives at home with his mommy in the basement. Yes, Yeah. I guess you didn't know that, did you? Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to let that one out of the bag. Yeah. Life, not kaif. Other mate, yes. Can people stay? Yes, they are. Can't. I am sorry. What is that? Heather May. Yes, they are. Can't stand people putting good people down. They need to get a life. Yes. Yeah. Get a restraining order. I mean, restraining orders are already out there. You know that Jeremy has a restraining order on John Cook and Michelle Preston. That's been settled in court. Yeah, that's unreal. YouTube is like any other business. You only make money if you work hard on your channel. Exactly. Thank you, Roy. That is absolutely correct. That is the biggest part about it. The more work that you put into doing your channel and promoting yourself, the more money that you can make off of it. But it takes skill to be able to do that. I'm not the skill. Thank you. Gave the wrong answer. I appreciate you correcting me. That does happen. Yeah. So in case you're wondering, what I've been talking about is how McVile has created his own little narrative, and he's going to continue on with that narrative, and it's going to continue, and it's going to continue. You think that it's gone away? It's going to rear its ugly head up, and he's trying to get a bunch of people to come over there and follow him, pay a whole bunch of attention to what he's doing. Why? Because he's a disruptor. That's what he likes to do. He said that before. Trust people whenever they tell you they're a disruptor and they like to troll people. That's what they do. Trust them whenever they say that. And they'll troll you just as much as anybody else. $9.99 from Teresa Finn. KK, everyone's bedtime. I'm tired because Shizzy is cracking the whip and I'm riding as fast as your little fingers can go. Have a great night. Love you, Papa Nut. Yes, Teresa Finn. We are. I'm hoping when she gets inspired. Write some more good stories because we have been wearing out our Peter and Wendy. But I am going to be changing up the story next week. Next week it's going to be changing up. I've been thinking about changing up the whole platform a little bit on Sundays, but still do the stories. I may finish out Peter and Wendy on my own, um, just because I know that can be really difficult with the amount of different things that are happening in the story. So that one I may just finish on my own, or I may just bring a couple people in to finish it up with me. We'll see how it goes. Oh, Emma Washington, here you go. I just paid you more than YouTube. You did. Thank you so much, Emma Washington. No, and sometimes, and that's the other thing is I was told that I needed to be creating more short form videos. Um, instead of doing the long terms, the long form streams, that those right there would be more than enough. Thank you so much for that. That is for you, Emma. Um, and I'm just not a video creator like that. I can't sit down and create videos all the time. I have to have something. Why am I kissing geckos? I'm not kissing geckos. Why are you licking gecko bellies? I don't understand, Slug. What is your deal? I mean, that's a little dirty, sort of sickening if you think about it. You don't know where that belly's been. BBB would put as much time into his law practice as he does dabbling in Lynette's life. Well, he's not dabbling in her life. That's the thing. He's more interested in everybody else's life. He's more interested in getting his mac and cheese story told. You have to remember what his purpose is in all of this. It's to get his mac and cheese, his glorious mac and cheese taken care of. Oh yeah, and wait until you see some of the other stuff I've got on him. All I know is these people, Our crazy went to town with his son in a video in a little YouTube town where cops came and asked me. Some neighbor felt comfortable I was there and asked me to move along with problems. Yeah. You have some nice looking guitar. Your husband's also in music. Awesome, JC Mac. That's wonderful. Yeah, that is let's see, that is Memphis. Or, sorry, Maestro bass. That's a Maestro. That's Ernie Ball Music Band. That's an Epiphone, and I can't remember the model of it. Then I've got a Telecaster and a Washburn. And then over there, I've got a Fender acoustic, and I've got a Takamine in the other room. Yeah, I've got a few instruments. I also have a let's see, I also have a Kramer fretless. Right? Yeah, Kramer fretless in there. Yeah, it's in there. I have a Kramer fretless in the other room, and trying to think what else I have in there. I think that's it. Yeah, I have some nice instruments. I've gotten most of my instruments for, really inexpensive prices. Because I've also had them long enough that they might be worth something. I don't know. Make some shorts for my videos. Cynthia, I've it takes a lot to get those shorts taken care of. It's pretty core to your character. Not being a jerk. Oh, I'm always good at being a jerk. Do you play each one of them ongoing or are they collectors only? No, I can't play as much as I used to. The arthritis in my hands. It's one of the reasons why I stopped being a mechanic. Is the arthritis is quite painful, especially in my left hand. Don't know why it's my left hand. I think it was from running an impact gun and crap like that. But yeah, I can actually still play. It's not like I can't play. I just don't. It's a little bit hard and leaves me uncomfortable for a little while afterwards. Is that Dillinger playing his guitar in that photo? Dillinger. No, that right there would be Winston Churchill. Yeah, that's a picture of Winston Churchill. I got that at the Winston Churchill museum in England. They have like this sort of like a bunker, and they have like a whole thing on Winston Churchill. So I went and saw that. Well, I went and visited that with my wife while we were in the UK. What was that? 4 years? It was right before the pandemic happened. The year before that. I think was it year before that? Yeah, it was the year before that. Did I go to Blenheim Palace? I think so. I think so. We went to we did a tour of the British Museum, which was really, really cool. We had Dr. Lawrence that did the tour for us. His mother's archivist. Well, she was at the time. I don't know if she still is anymore, but he's archaeologist and archaeologist. Yeah, he's an archaeologist. He actually flew in from Egypt, gave us the tour, and then flew back out the next day, which was pretty cool of him. But he had to be there anyway, so he was just ongoing. But he gave us a tour of the British Museum, so it was a paid tour. I did restore Mopar muscle cars before he died of cancer. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mopar mama. I had a 1973 Plymouth Satellite. That was my sweetheart of a car with a 318 single stage 2 barrel carburetor in it. That was fun. Yeah, Winston Churchill, very fascinating. So we did England. They shut down Big Ben the next year. That was the year that we were there. Um, we flew in, did the eye, and then don't do the Jack the Ripper tour if you ever go to UK. It's horrible. It's not really fun because almost all of it's like parking lots now. It's cool walking. You can see like where the French Huguenots, like their little community and stuff like that. But it's a
Sue
little
S. Sue, it
different.
has
But
become a member.
I think we did like the Sherlock Holmes Museum. Wasn't that interesting? I mean, it was cool, but it was small. Had a 72 satellite. Nice. Yeah, I had the 73, that big nose, short butt. Yeah, sweet. Oh, Sue Scat, thank you for becoming a member of this wonderful shit show of a place. Or nut house or whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much. That's for you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Yeah. So we did, and then we went to we like did the Cotswolds, and I mean, London was okay, but I will guarantee you, if you're gonna go to the UK and you like beautiful things, spend like maybe 3 days in London. Go check out like a few of the main things, and then get the hell out of London. Go visit the countryside, and the people are much better on the countryside. The city, it's just like a city. I mean, how many pieces of concrete can you look at before you just, man, I just want to go touch grass and get out of the city. It doesn't take very much. Then we flew over to Scotland and did a trip through Scotland. It was good. We had a really good time. So I'd suggest it to anybody. Go visit, other places. My wife and I, we've been to Belize, and that was where I finished up that's where I did my deepest dive. Yes, I'm a certified diver. Yeah, Scotland is beautiful. I heard that Glasgow is like pretty crappy. I mean, we flew out of Glasgow, but we didn't really see much of it. Even our driver was like, Glasgow. He didn't really like it, but the rest of it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, we went to uh, the locks, Loch Ness, and we actually drove out and stayed at went to one of the a showing that they had out there. Just checking out the scenery. We got a healing queue. I mean, we had a blast. We had an absolute blast. My wife and I plan on doing that again. So we found that we don't like being in the city because we live in, one of the larger cities in the United States. So why would we want to be in another city? Well, our mama sounds like your wonderful heritage to children. Sorry for your loss. Sounds wonderful. 801. Yes, I am. Adore Emily. Yes, Janice found her during Depp Heard. Elaine. Oh my God. And I would tell you, Bubbles gives me like sticker shock because he reminds me a lot of Elaine. Is that Chet Atkins Gibson over the right shoulder? Your granddad? Oh, now see, that is not at all. This is a hollow body maestro, the bass. So, so that right there, if you look, let's see if I can get it right about there. So it's a maestro, hollow body bass, as you can see. So bass, 4 strings, and it's the same thing as Gibson. Gibson owned Maestro, or yeah, got bought out by Gibson bought out Maestro that made this bass. So it's the same design, has the same pickup on it, has the same sound and everything. But that was a 68 Dart, nice, very nice. So yeah, that was pretty. I picked that up in a pawn shop in Savannah for $100. I played on it that night at the Velvet Elvis in Savannah. It was a good time. It was a good time. You had a Super Bird, a Daytona, a Hemi Cuda, a 6-pack Super B, just to name a few. Yeah, my what was really interesting, there was a guy in my neighborhood that worked for my old neighborhood. I ain't been there forever. He had a 1968, is it 68? Yeah, 1968 Roadrunner with a uh he had dual carbs on it, I do believe. He had dual 4-barrel carbs on that thing, and it was set up for show, and he used to tow it to shows. He won like a bunch of awards with that thing, and then sold it, and he bought like I want to say a 63 Dart, and was gonna slap another Hemi in that. But yeah, he was a good guy, really good guy. Your osteoarthritis has caused you to retire as a pharmacist. Also a musician, had 3 music scholarships, didn't get into Juilliard. So I just went to pharmacist route. Wow. Yeah, I'm not that good. I'm not that talented. I mean, that's pretty awesome. No, I just toured with a rock band for a while. Nobody special. 67 Mustang Pony. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. See, now we're talking about cars. You guys get me all excited. Hemi Dart, not street legal. Oh, yeah, it wasn't meant to be street legal. His wasn't meant to be street legal. I had some serious knowledge. Now, see, I played in multiple bands for quite some time. I was touring quite a lot, and ended up meeting my wife. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and decided that I wanted to do something a little bit more. So I've done computer work, worked for an ISP. And then I went back to one of my oldest skills, which was that as a mechanic. That's why I started working at when I went in the military, was a light wheel vehicle mechanic, which is really just basically you change tires and batteries, not really anything spectacular. But yeah, I went and started working, or I went and worked for Honda for about 7 years before I just my hands wouldn't work anymore. Yes, I'm getting old. So now I just do woodworking whenever I have the time, and I work for my wife, which is nice. So musician and a mechanic, yeah. Yeah, I worked for Honda for 7 years, and they wanted me to be shop foreman. They were like, "Oh, you won't have to work on cars as much," and I was like, no, thank you. I appreciate it." I was sort of burned out by then. I still have, an expensive ass toolbox. If anybody knows anything about Snap-on, you understand what I'm talking about. Oh, got a 68 Z28 fully restored with driver door shows. That's nice. That's nice, Cheryl. And as much as I'm not really a whole GM guy or anything like that, or Ford, I do like Mopar a lot more. I'll tell you a story about my 73 Satellite here in a bit. Um, the, it was a 1969 Cougar with with the big block in it. I can't remember the engine in it, but that thing was my ultimate favorite car. I loved it. My father had picked one up. It was yellow with the black racing stripe right down the middle of it. That car was so cool. Uh, and I that was my dream car right there. And I can't remember what engine that thing had in. I just know that it got up, and it was kind of would lean back, had four-wheel drum brake on it. Don't have a fancy old car, just a 97 Toyota Corolla, a four-door wagon. Yeah, I don't have a fancy car either. I sold off my 73 Plymouth Satellite because my wife couldn't drive it. She had a hard time reaching the pedals after I was in there, and she couldn't move the seat forward because we parked on a hill. So she pulled the little lever, it would just slide her back even further. So so it was my car, but she was upset because she couldn't drive it, so she needed to go anywhere. She would have to move my car. She would have to find me to move it. And if I wasn't around, that was no good. Thank you very much, Emma Washington. That is for you. You've had osteoarthritis since your 30s. It sucks. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I've had mine since shit, 40s, something like that. Yeah. I mean, that was use a pillow and put blocks on pedals. uh yeah, yeah. No, she and because after she would get in, it was almost impossible to get the seat back again in the right position. But I did trade off the car. I sold it for a good price. There was a guy that was wanting to turn it into a road runner. He was going to convert it over. This is basically the same body, just swap out the engine. He was going to put the transmission, which was basically brand new. I had it rebuilt by a really cool place. Um, and he was going to turn it into a full on road runner, wing and all. I traded that out and got what was it, 2002 BMW 5 Series, and my wife loved that car. Oh, man. But it saved her ass, I don't know how many times. Arthritis, 11 to 14, right? It sucks eggs. Yeah. 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 I had a block on your clutch pedal on the Trans Am. I could speed shift the fool out of that car. Yeah. My, uh, my, um, my girl that I dated in, what was that? What was that? I was 18. I was 18. Yeah. Was I 17? I'm just trying to remember because there was a lot going on that year. Yeah, I would have been 17. She was 17 also. Um, she had wrecked her car, which was a 1968 Ford Mustang that her father had painted uh, hot pink for her, but she hit the gas pedal a little too hard and hit a mailbox and scratched up the side of it. So he was repainting it. While he was repainting it, he gave her the 1969, the one that was my dream car in 1969 Cougar convertible, and she came rolling up in that thing, and I was like, "Oh, tell me you'll let me drive it." She was just like, "Oh hell no, my dad would kill you." Her dad loved me. He actually wanted me to go race cars for him or start racing cars for him. He liked how I drove. First car was a Toyota Corolla. It would never start. AAA would cancel your membership because they had to come out so much. Oh yeah, that reminds me of that 73 Plymouth Satellite. So it had a unique feature. Um, it had an alternator that I thought had failed on it, so I replaced the alternator and my battery died again. Replaced the battery died again. And I was talking with one of the guys there that was behind the shop. He goes, "This is like the third battery." He goes, they're going to stop giving you a new battery for it." And I was just like, well, there's something wrong. The alternator's fine because it's been tested, it's working. And then he said, "Did you check the amp meter on it?" I was like, "Amp meter?" I was like, I I mean, the amp meter is just this little gauge that sit down in the bottom. Every time I would turn, it would do this number. He goes, "Oh, yeah, it's broken." He goes, "Here," hands me a new amp meter. Cost me $10, I think is what it was, like 5 or $10. I installed it in there, cut the wires that were on the back of the amp meter, and found out that they had actually burnt up the inside of that because they were grounding out, and put that thing, hooked it up, never had another problem with my battery after that. Yeah, yeah. And I had to let that car go. I put a new grill on it. Oh yeah. I took the old grill off and I made a new grill for the front of it. So it had, uh, it was corrugated metal, and then mounted some fog lights up behind there and put the turn signals with blue up in the top because they're just little blocks up on the hood. And so what I did is I pulled one of the old blocks out of there, and I took a piece of solid blue plastic and then engraved it so it would fit up in there. It was pretty cool. It was much easier to see at night too. 801, good night. Good night. Goosebump. You have a wonderful one. Dad sounds like my dad, but gone now. What a man, teacher for a manly man. 1970 Dodge Challenger. That'd be nice, Becky. That'd be really nice. JC had some problems with the 71 Fiat Super Coupe. Fiat stands for fix it again tomorrow. Yeah, Fiats were some real pains in the butt. Um, 74 Mercury Marquis Police Interceptor in it. Race that car up and down the street and the highway. Yeah. 2006 Mazda 3. Well, now the Mazda 3, if you got so it was just the base model Mazda 3. So it had the round headlights on the back, like instead of the newer one, which was I think in 2008. 2010, something like that. Came out with it. No, 2012 was the last. 2012, 2013. They had the last one. So you probably still had the round ones. You might have had the 2 liter in there, something like that. Love your Jeep. Never have any problems with it. Oh, well, I worked on plenty of Jeeps. Did you say a satellite Sebring? Yeah, yeah. It was a Plymouth satellite Sebring that I had. I had a crush on a guy who had one of those in '75. You know? My wife had a crush on me. She whenever I would come pulling up, she would lose her mind. Yeah, I had let's see, the Mazda Speed 3. Now that was a little beast to have. One of my favorite cars was the Mazda RX-7. You can make fun of it all you want to, but I had a lot of fun in that car. That was just a zippy little fun car. To be honest, I've deleted posts after I've written them, so the PR team doesn't decide to come after you. It's just sad. Yeah. No, I worked on this guy brought in a 1990, I think it was, Jeep Grand Cherokee that had um he was like ex Special Forces too, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. I know that he had a pretty high rank. I think he made it up to like colonel. I think it was a colonel. I think that's what it was. Yeah, like he ended up yeah, yeah, he was really good guy. He had a 1990 Jeep Grand Cherokee, mint condition, all the bells and whistles, and it wouldn't run. It would keep dying on him, and so he brought it in. And welcome to Shizzy Car Talk, yeah. And so he brought it in and he couldn't figure out what it was. He had like 10 mechanics look at it and they couldn't figure out what it was. And he had two problems, and one of them I figured out pretty easily. The other one, it took me a while longer. He had a catalytic converter that had clogged up on him, and he said that it would run for a period of time and then the car would just die on him. And so what I did is I let it run in the shop, no big deal. It was fine, and then took it for a drive and got about halfway around the block, and it stalled out, quit running. And I let it sit for a little bit, cranked it up, brought it back into the shop, and then put it up in the air and saw that the catalytic converter was red hot. It was too hot. I mean, it wasn't. You couldn't see the red heat because, well, that shop sucked. But that's all it was. His catalytic converter was clogged up. But his charging problem that he was having, I went through it and found out that the main computer, which is basically just this box filled with gel, like it's garbage. I cut that open and pulled it apart and cut the gel out of it, and he had two solders that were bad on it, and I resoldered them back up for it, put it back together, and yeah, he he was a cool guy. You can smell a clogged catalytic converter. Not true. Not true. Not true. Not if the catalytic converter clogs up your muffler. Not if the catalytic converter clogs up your muffler. You don't smell anything. It just it does get really hot, but yeah, you don't always smell it. Not especially in a shop like that. Yeah, it was a mess. I've had that a few times. I mean, like I had this guy come in with a what is it, 2002 CRV. They smell like rotten eggs. Not all the time. Not all the time. How many times you got to take your Trans Am local police picked on you? Yeah, the thing is, I bought it from one of them. Well, that's why they knew the car. Yeah, I had this guy come in and he said that his car was running really crappy. Turned out that he just needed an AC fan. It's a pretty easy fix. So, water catalytic converters. Oh, wait, they run straight pipes out here. That's true. I've had to wire and replace your Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah, I had one of the guys I worked with. He replaced the wiring. Well, he didn't replace the wiring on a Land Rover. He had a Land Rover because Land Rover, they really suck. If you ever own a Land Rover, I feel sorry for you because they'll have like a Land Rover has the body, but they get the transmission from either GM or AMC, or they could get it from BMW, and then the engine they get from BMW or Chevy or Ford or AMC or whoever else they can get it from. It's like a mismatched car, and they run their entire wiring right up through the top of the transmission, like right above the transmission. I'm trying to remember the name of that pump off the top of my head. I can't remember. And so whenever they replace the transmission in his Land Rover, they they set the car down on top of the transmission. They went up too high with it. They cut all the wires, and that wiring harness on the Land Rover runs through the entire Land Rover. And so the one of the guys I worked with went in, cut each one of those wires and spliced each one of those wires, which really sucked, but it was better. It was cheaper that way. 68 Plymouth Duster. That's a sweet car. That's a sweet car. Um, yeah, I mean, like Volkswagens are notorious for having electrical problems. Audis, those have a lot of electrical problems. You can husband, he can a vehicle and tell you what's wrong with it or to go wrong, and also does it in semis. Yeah, no, never worked on light semis. I mean, I worked on light wheel vehicle mechanics. AMC was a bad about random parts of random cars as well. That's why if you own AMC, never say what the part is for. Just just take the part in to get that part. Yeah. My first car was a XB 302 V8 panel van. Nice. Drove it on. Now one of my friends had a was it a 68 like wood panel Chevy station wagon, or was it Chevy? I think it was a Chevy. Yeah, it was a beast. That thing had some muscle behind it. Slant six, you can't kill those dusters. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I love old cars too. Yeah. Car will rot around the engine, especially if you're in the Midwest. You start getting like in those salty areas, and they'll just rot those things out. I had a what is it, Chevy Nova? I'm trying to think what year that thing was. I want to say it was a 72 Chevy Nova that the floorboard in the back was rusted out. And one of my buddies would just sit back there and like throw trash out of it, like at people behind us. I was like, you need to stop doing that. That thing had the straight six in it. It was a beast. It had no shocks. It had rust holes all through it. I bought it in Illinois for like $200. Got the title transferred over, got it titled here in Georgia, and I drove that thing for geez, I don't know, probably about 2 years before the transmission completely went on it. I mean, it was just mainly just to get me back to Georgia. That's the only reason I bought it. You're heading off to bed. 4:45 in the morning. Good night, Rachel. You have a wonderful one. Oh my gosh. See, I've been just rattling off about cars, losing track of time, having a good time with you guys. Love the old cars. Yeah. Your son, 31, now has a Dodge Ram leased to buy, and now he either pays the balloon payment of $10,000 or returns it. He's very close to having that. Loves his truck. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got a small car. I don't have anything muscly anymore. Um, my next vehicle will probably be, something much larger that I can haul more equipment around with, you know, especially because I'm always doing stuff around the house for the wife. The Maverick with the three on the tree. Trying to think what was it that I had that was three on the tree. C10 Chevy pickup truck. Yeah, Chevy C10. That had three on the tree. That was the first time I ever experienced three on the tree. I mean, I grew up with a what was it, a Ford. It was like a Ford 350 or something like that. I can't remember the exact model it was. It was my grandfather's, and it had a two-speed rear axle on the back of it. And never drove a two-speed rear axle, but he used it to haul logs. So that's what I learned to drive on. And then yeah, the red Pinto. Yeah. Yeah, what about the Pacer? That was a hilarious looking car. Little bubble cars. The Pintos and the Pacers, they had the bubble cars. Now my father was trying to get the Gremlin with the V8 in it. I remember that. But he instead got the Granada. Oh my God, what a garbage car that was. Yeah, the little Gremlin with the V8 in it. Yeah, had a V8 in it. Could you imagine a Gremlin with a V8? Something that weighs like the as much as a Pinto. That thing would go. That thing would haul ass. 71 GT37 with the best J marks in town. 3-speed 350. Yeah. Yeah. My what would it be considered? Like step aunt? She had a what is it, a 4-speed? Um, I think it was what is that, 454? Corvette. Yeah, that thing was fast. You had a Gremlin too? Yeah. The Yugo? Yeah, those things were garbage. The Gremlin X when he was a kid, still think that car was funny. Oh yeah. They made funny cars out of those things, the Gremlins. And then I think it was I think it was the Maverick, wasn't it? That was also made by Ford. Was that? Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, there's so many really cool old cars out there that I would love to have. Porsche 911, nice. Engine in a 66 Beetle. Yeah, yeah. There was a guy, one of my buddies. Oh God, what was his name? One of my buddies at the time. We called it the turkey wagon. His dad had taken a Corvette engine and transmission and put it into a Dodge, um, one of those pickup vans. Have you ever seen those little pickup vans where they got the short front end and then they've got the bed and it's about the same length as a van? That thing would pick the wheels up off the ground. That thing would haul ass. Engine bolts right in. Oh wow, really? The goat had a 389 tri-power? Sweet. Yeah, I mean, I worked with, oh, thank you, little B. You just gifted a membership. Thank you. Thank you, little B. I appreciate you for that. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. 10 memberships, little B. Awesome. Little B, sweet pea. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I could work on the cars. Now, if you ask me to tear apart the transmission on a 1973 Plymouth Satellite, I would send it to somebody else to do. That wasn't my forte. I was more working on like the engines, pull like when I worked at Honda, I think I replaced the whole time that I worked there, I don't know, 80, 90, 90, 100, maybe 200 engines, like the whole time that I worked there. That was pretty common, especially doing piston rings on the Odysseys and the Pilots because they had a recall on those. Like number one cylinder would mess up, and I think out of those, I probably replaced 5 engines on those. But then they also had the recall on the Civic because they had a flaw in the engine block, so the front of the engine block would start leaking, and that was also warranty. That was a little bit easier to do because all you had to do is strip the head off of it, make sure that the head wasn't warped. If it was warped, you could send it off. They would gauge it there, and we had a local place that would do them. But yeah, most of the time it was just replace the engine. Yeah, I would drive a 97 Dodge Ram yourself? Nice, nice. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, sweet. He's a 911 police dispatcher going on 5 years now. Really good pay. He lives on his own. Last year he bought a Zodiac type boat. Very proud. Oh, I love that. 79 red Ford Pinto had a Starkey and Hutch wrap on it. I love it. Writes white stripe and sports weeks. Got you through college and heard, oh man, one of my brother-in-law's friends, he had a 1968 Chevy or Ford Mustang, sorry, not a Chevy, but Ford Mustang that he drove all through college, and then he moved to, oh God, where is it? Because he's married, he's married there. I'm trying to think where it is. Ah, it's like a South American country, but I can't remember the name of it. Shizzy must eat dolphins, then we can save America. No. No. Uh yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You love it though. 61 now, if he would get married and make me a grandma. Well, yeah, that would, I guess, would be something. Be something. Don't push it though. You don't want to marry in the wrong world. You don't want to marry the wrong kind of woman. Check your email. Breaking news out of Outer Creek. Oh, really? Is there? Let's see. What do I got here? Breaking news out of Outer Creek. Let's see what we have. I will check my email, see if there's anything new. Because, well, I'm an idiot like that most of the time. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Good job. Good job, Valor. I love it. I love it. Check your email. Breaking news out of Otter Creek. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'll check that out later. I'll definitely check that out later. Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. We've got this wonderful, wonderful give, send, go. I wanna do this because this is I don't normally do give, send, goes, but I think this is a really, really cool campaign. And you get something out of it. Trust me, you get something out of it. You'll really appreciate this. So, like I said, I don't normally do gifts and goes, but this is somebody that I thank you, Valor. I appreciate it. This is something that I can stand behind. This is a give, send, go that I will stand behind, and I would always suggest go check this out. This right here is Steve Gosney. He's got a give, send, go for making a children's book, My Difficult Dog, a reality. Okay. So he is working on getting enough donations. He's trying to raise 3,000 to get his children's book, My Difficult Dog, a reality. Now tell him that in there, just let him know that you came over from me, Shizzy. Say Shizzy sent me over here. Donate as much or as little as you want to, because he did a wonderful book called Brucey the One-Eyed Dog. It does have more of a Christian belief behind it. It is, and if anybody knows me, you'll know that I'm not a Christian, unfortunately for you guys. So if you like what he does, oh yeah, that is a great cause. Exactly. He did Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. And that book right there, I ended up getting for my nephew and my niece, which are absolutely wonderful, lovely little children. And I thought that would be a really good book to get them for Christmas, and they love it. So that's why I wanted to. I'm happy to promote Steve Gosney on this one right here. Like I said, Heather May, I don't normally do give, send, goes. I don't promote things like that. But this is something that I have been very impressed, and Steve is a really good person. He's very solid. He's wonderful, right attorney in Florida. I have not had a chance to meet him yet, but I've talked with him several times. Really good people. You had a friend that had a 64 Bonneville with a 421 Super Duty. Oh, yeah. Had 8 lugs on the wheels. Yeah, your dad surprised you with a Mustang, a 1974 Mustang too. Oh, oh, 1974 Mustang too. Didn't it have like the little 4-cylinder in it? Oh my God. My brother put one of those into a solid wall. Yeah, he crumpled that thing all to hell. The brakes on it were sucked really bad. They were just shot to hell. Well, it might have been the Midwestern weather that shot them all to hell, but yeah, those things were garbage. First car he owned was a 77. That's the one I'm thinking of. The 77 Comet. Oh God, that was a fun little car. GT 302, 8 speed, 8 302, 8 3 speed. Yeah, it had an 8-cylinder. 3 speed. Yeah, that was a sweet one. No problem about being a Christian. I have enjoyed your channel and not sure there are many follow that are. To give my heart to God way back when your son was 15 months old. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing. I like I said, I believe in something a little bit different, which and but I can't condemn anybody if they want to follow the teachings of Christ. Nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely fine by me. I've never held that against anybody in any way, shape, or form. Well, maybe a little bit, but yeah, I just it's not my cup of tea. I do have my own beliefs and I do believe in God, but I'm not a Christian. That's not my faith. And like I said, I don't usually talk about that kind of stuff, but I do know that his does have a little bit of a Christian tinge to it, which there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And I know the guy and I support him, so show him your love. You found out your dad was the Romeo of East Liverpool. He changed the 3 on the tree to the left side, so his right hand was free on dates. That's right. You had a 2013 smart car, gets 48 to 52 miles a gallon, only costs 25 to $28 to fill it up. Oh, those little smart cars? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was yeah, those things were horrible to work on. It had a little plastic hood on the front of it. And you would have to send it to the dealer to have work done on it. Yeah, my car gets what, 35 miles to a gallon, and it's just a 4-cylinder. 1912 Ford Model T town car. Sweet. Yeah, my one of my buddies has a what is it? Uh it says Model T pickup. Yeah, like it's a hybrid car. It's got a 8-cylinder in it. I mean, it's been souped up. 71 Opel. Oh, cadet. Nice. Nice. Yeah, one of my buddies has I want to say it's a Studebaker. He has a Studebaker that has the that that pinched front end on it, the pointed front end. It's a really interesting car. You have your first car, 64 Chevy Bel Air. Dad's garage for safekeeping. Did all the work on it with your dad's help and the stuff I couldn't do or needed help. That's sweet. Yeah, my one of my friends had a was it 65? I think is it the one that has the larger fins on it. Yeah, his dad gave that to him. He loved that car. Your granddaddy Avante. Thank you. That's exactly it. Just plain dad. That's exactly what it is. That was his dream car. So he got an Avante, a Studebaker Avante. Thank you. Thank you. I could not remember the name of it, but I knew that once I said it, you guys would figure it out. You guys are awesome. Opal mounted light swap. What? Okay. God made a huge difference in my life. I just keep those know and support my prayers. Often say good night with God bless you and pray for many situations I hear on here. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, I believe in God. I just don't worship Christ. There you go. And leather gaskets. Oh yeah, that's right. Call it the Batmobile. Oh, hey, Ted Wendell. Thank you so much. Excellent show, Shizzy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get off tangent, talk about things that are probably less important than anything, but I find it interesting. I find you guys interesting. Chat is like awesome. All get out. I mean, I talk about some of the strangest things. I mean, it, what I'd like to do one of these nights is have a really interesting stream about absolutely everything. All the stuff that I know. But that would take forever. I'm like I said, I'm good at a lot of things, but That is that not everything. Your favorite was a '99 BMW Z3 Coupe. Oh, that little short nose. It had the long nose, short body. Yeah, those are really interesting cars. I had a friend of mine that had one of those. Um, I don't know. They were I'm 6 foot. Those are really hard for me to get into. They're just uncomfortable for me. Now the like the little Mazda that I had, that was a fun car. That was a real fun car to drive, even if it was a bit of a pain in the ass. But it was also, much lighter than to learn to drive on a 72 Impala. Yeah. I learned to drive on well, first on my grandfather's tractors, and then once he was competent that I could act comfortable that I could steer, without like running things over. Then he like put me into the big truck and let me start driving that around, just, go learning how to shift gears properly, and then moved me up to, hauling things with it. And, there's nothing like having that two-speed rear axle to where you can just reach down, hit that button and switches that rear end axle, and you're because in low four on that thing, you was barely crawling. But you hit that two-speed rear axle and go through those gears, and man, that thing would get up and move. Mazda Miata sleeper, excellent car. Yeah, I don't know about the Miatas. I mean, I had friends that had the Miatas. Those were fun. I did like my RX-7. I had a 1972 Mazda RX-7. That I put that into a tree. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lady run me off the road at about 40 miles an hour and put it into an oak tree. MGB, but it was maintenance nightmare. Yeah, the MGB, those things were like weekend cars. You work on them all weekend just so you could drive them on Monday. They, they were no fun. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the your 5.1, so great for you. Yeah, yeah. First car, 71 Buick LeSabre. It's a tank. Yeah. Fit 8 marching band. Oh man, one of the coolest cars, buddy that I worked with at what was that? That was a long time ago. He purchased a 1957 Cadillac. 1957 Cadillac. Then it was in mint condition, baby blue mint condition, and oh my, it had a cigarette lighter and an ashtray for every damn seat in that thing. Rotary engine, yeah. Yeah, rotary engine, those were a pain in the butt to work on. I mean, once you do what you were doing, it was not a big deal. First car is a security question, just saying. I mean, my first car was a vet, a Chevette. That was my first car. That was the first car I owned was a Chevette. I had a Mazda 323, 40 miles per gallon, $20 to fill the tank, forever in 99. Yeah, I had a Mazda 626. It was what year was that thing? I think it was a 2000 Mazda 626. That it had broken a timing belt on it, and I picked it up for like $200, the car for $200. It was excellent condition. It had a 6-speed five-speed transmission. Yeah. Owned a Corvair, never did understand that engine. Yeah, I've never worked on a Corvair. There was a place in Virginia, a guy in the Virginia Highlands that had like 4 of those things sitting in front of his house. I I I could never understand the Corvair. It was pretty cool looking, but get out of town. That was the first new car I bought. Chevette in 1982. Mine was a 86, 86, 86. No, it might have been an 82 Chevette. It was white. It was a white Chevette. It was a 4-speed white Chevette, and I remember driving to work one day, and the gear shift came off in my hand because it broke. So here I am trying to shift gears with this little nub that's barely sticking out. And I got to work and welded the thing in there, welded the stick back together again. Yeah, that thing, I mean, the stick broke right at the transmission. Um, yeah, that was a weird day. Um, yeah, I drove that until the wheels fell off of it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a little hell of a car. Chevy Celebrity four-door, and that's what my Chevette looked like, just like that Celebrity. Looked just like it, except it was shorter. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right. Very much so, Emma Washington. Those 1967 Mustangs and Chevy Camaros, very sexy cars, but you get into those, you got like the Firebird, that was basically the Camaro, just a little bit different. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, buddy of mine had a Firebird. Him and his wife were awesome. Yeah, that was a sweet car. Love those things. Vail Review News. My hubby and boys put Cummins diesel in an 84 Cutlass for you. Loved it. That's awesome. Burned the clutch out of your 74 Chevette twice. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yours was a four-speed four-speed Pinto. Oh, 88 Dodge Daytona Moonlight Teal Green. Ooh, sweet. Yeah, the blew the engine, flipped a S10 head, and blew the engine again. Yeah, that BMW that BMW that I got, that one, I was on my way to Jacksonville, and it overheated. And whenever I say it overheated, it went from 0 to overheated, like, in just a matter of seconds. It didn't give me any warning. The water pump had failed on it. So, I I had them tow it, and we were like 2 miles outside of Jacksonville. So I had them tow it into Jacksonville to, to a repair shop, and they basically said, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to replace the engine." I was like, why?" They said, "Well, we did a pressure test on it, and it doesn't hold any pressure." I was like, "Oh, son of a buck." And so, I didn't have any tools with me, and I was like, "Well, I'll just take it back to, Georgia with me." So I towed the BMW back to Georgia. I pulled the engine on it, took the engine apart, did a block test. It passed on the block. There was no problems on the block. It was just a blown head gasket on it. I replaced the head gasket. I had the head reworked on it. I took it in to make sure that there was no warpage on the head. No warpage on the head. I ran a straight edge on the block, so I knew that the block wasn't warped. Replaced it, and the one of my coworkers that I worked with decided that he was going to torque something out of spec, wasn't paying any attention, and he walked over, grabbed my torque wrench, and didn't realize that I had already torqued part of the block, and torqued down one of the bolts on it and warped the block. Then didn't tell me that he did it. So I ended up blowing the engine on it about 6 weeks later. It ran good until it got warm enough, and then it crapped out. And I will tell you that little car was fast. Yeah. Love driving the '86 Dodge Ram pickup with a 318. Yeah. That's what I had. I had a 318. Now, I talked with my buddy, and he was just like, "You should throw a 4 barrel in there. You should just get the dual carbs," because I had the single stage 2 barrel in there. He was like, "Just go get them. Just go get a two-stage 4 barrel. You'll be good." Oil pump went out. Oh, oil pump's going out. I had a 280ZX, that the way that the 280 is designed on the V6, you've got your distributor that comes in, and it attaches to your oil pump on the bottom, and that oil pump rotates on the bottom of it, and it can be out 180 degrees and still fit in there on older models. Oh my God, I was so pissed. I was so pissed because I paid a couple $100, have somebody else put it in, and then this thing ran like crap. I mean, I'd made it down the street and I turned around. I was like, something's not right with this. Something's not right with this at all. I was like, you bastard did something wrong. And because I didn't know too much about the 280Z engine. And turns out, yeah, he strips their bolts past their duty. Yeah, exactly. Turns out the the guide was just 180 degrees off. Put that thing in there. Oh yeah, so much better. Yeah, I ran the hell out of that 280ZX. Bought a Cutlass for $200, repaired it himself, and the engine finally blew. Yeah, I mean that's what happens. That's what happens. I mean, I've well, one of the guys I worked with had put in a brand new Honda engine in a customer's car and let it sit there and run for, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sitting in the bay, just running at operating temperature. Everything was good, made sure that it was running solid, pulled it out and blew the damn engine because he didn't attach one of the crank bolts properly. Nice, huh? Yeah. Nothing like hearing one of those pistons slap around inside of an engine while you're driving it down the road. Who admits to owning a Geo? Hey, I will tell you what. I dated this girl in California that came to visit me in Georgia, and she drove my bandmate's Geo all the way from Los Angeles just to come see me. She drove it straight in that little Geo. That was a weird car. We were 16, the car had a turbo, just got off work, went to boyfriend's house, caught boyfriend cheating, left really mad, hit a deer, sold the car for 500. Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. It was quirky. I wouldn't start driver's side fender. Cop knock would start every time. Just had to knock some rust off of the relay. Oh, oh, wow. Yeah, there's driver's side fender, cop knock. It would start every time. Just had to knock some rust off that relay. Oh, wow. Yeah, there was a guy that came in with a Bel Air that wanted to upgrade his AC system. He wanted to do a conversion on it. And that Bel Air, oh my God, what a pain in the butt. Whoever did the work on it really sucked at it. They because with your four barrel two-stage carburetor, you have vacuum hoses, and those vacuum hoses tell it whenever it's supposed to open it up, and it has to do a lot with your timing and the way it's set. And so he brings this thing and it's all just I was like, all right, this thing's running really crappy like. So I checked on it, found that it had the timing wasn't set at all. And whoever said it didn't use a timing light or didn't do it properly. So I set his timing on it. It was still running like crap. And I was like, well, you've got these hoses here. I'm sitting there putting my fingers over them and it's changing the idle on them. And it's just like the engine's running like crazy. And he goes, oh man, I just had that put in. This guy did really good work. And man, this thing will get up and go. I was like, yeah, but it's not set. So whenever you really romp on it, it wouldn't kick in that secondary. It would just dump gas all in there and cause it to stall out. So yeah, I told him to go take it back to the guy and have him tune the damn carburetor on it and attach the vacuum hoses back to it. Your husband bought your very first car was a 1999 Ford Tempo. God, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you got lucky because those Tempos were garbage. I had a Beretta, a Chevy Beretta maroon with matching rims. That car was a great ride. Only paid $400. Yeah, that's right. 68 Mustang Shelby convertible. It's red. Ah, that's sweet. That's sweet. First car was a 74 fastback Mustang with a 351. Oh, and the thing was a beast. Yeah. Your dad bought it at a police auction. Yeah. Yeah. I I'd love to get a pony car. That would be fun. Yeah, it would be a blast to have one of those little fast cars. Dangerous as hell. I mean, I would trick it out and get it all modernized, put fuel injection in it. Shizzy's not sleeping tonight. No, I'll be sleeping tonight. Shit, it's 12:17. You guys got me all talking cars and shit. Look at you, getting me all in trouble. My wife's gonna be all pissed off. I've got to do a stream at 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you guys are bad for me. Bad, bad people. Everybody have a wonderful night. I will see you in the morning. If you come by in the morning, I'll probably be talking news and all that kind of stuff like I do every morning. But tomorrow, if God forbid, there is no change in what's going on with What the Hale stuff, which hopefully it stays quiet for a little bit. I've got a new one that I want to cover for you guys. It's going to be a blast. Look for it. It's going to be a blast. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised what I'm going to be talking about. I've got a new way to see something that you're going to like. Saying goodnight. It was fun to chat with so many. Sleep well. Thank you, Heather May, and thank all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day tomorrow, wherever you are. It's gonna be okay. You will get through it. Whatever it is, you will get through it. And one more time, I'm gonna throw up there that Give Send Go. Go check out Steve Gosney's new book that he's working on getting put together. All that support will get that book out, and I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. I think you'll be pretty happy with it. Takes money to do it, and it's always going to be something really nice. Oh, thank you, Janice. I appreciate you so much. Love the car talk tonight. I love talking about cars. Now, I'm not as knowledgeable as a lot of people are on cars. Trust me on that. I mean, I like talking about cars, but I am not going to say that I was a top mechanic at all. I just I do like cars also. Probably like quite a few of you guys do. But thank you very much, Janice. I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll do it again. We will do it again. Everybody have a good night. And with that, I am out of here. Sweet.
Oh, you thought I was done? Bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free. It's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you're glued to the screen. Caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute. But here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny. So grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I'd say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy. Send in your bread. I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're irrelevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy, yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Pop a nut, shizzy daddy, let's set the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy daddies forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to pop a nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's. Agenda will see me tomorrow, same obsession, same effing thing.